Spider-Man 2 has been an absolute smash hit, beloved by critics and fans alike. It's hard to find anyone who has anything bad to say about the Spidey sequel. Even the glitches, one of which turned Spider-Man into a sugar cube that was mercilessly and wrongly patched out of the game last week, was laughed with rather than at for the most part. But there's one area of Spider-Man 2 that hasn't received universal acclaim and has in fact divided the fanbase. I'm speaking, obviously, about MJ's stealth missions. Universally disliked in the first game for killing the pace of the story, in Spider-Man 2, MJ's missions got an upgrade, making them a hell of a lot more fun to play, and MJ an absolute boss at taking down grunts that even Miles and Peter have to watch themselves around. So why did Insomniac take the risk on MJ, and was it worth it? One of the biggest changes Insomniac made to MJ's missions this time around was giving her an actual way to defend herself. In Spider-Man 1, MJ was a sitting duck, and all it took was for an enemy to spot you and it was game over and back to the start line to try again. In Spider-Man 2 though, her stun gun makes her an actual threat, one-shotting enemies that it would take Miles and Peter a good few licks to put down. It makes her sections a hell of a lot more dynamic and interesting, and while yes, they do limit your freedom and massively reduce the scope of gameplay in those sections, you can't just wander New York aimlessly as MJ after all, they're a huge improvement from the first game and actually give Spider-Man's longtime love interest even more agency and place in the story than she had last time. In a recent interview with IGN, Insomniac senior creative director Brian Intiha stated that Insomniac knew the MJ sections of Spider-Man 1 were not popular, and for a while it did seem to be on the table that they would simply write them off as an idea that doesn't work in a game where the player literally gets to swing around New York as a superhero. But ultimately, that would have been to the game's detriment, at least in our opinion. And Insomniac agreed. So instead, they took things in a different direction. Intiha saying that they had two choices. They could say, alright, we'll make it easy and just not do it. Or we could say, we've talked about showing the world from all different angles, we're going to make her moments better. We're going to take on the challenge, we're going to make people like playing as her. And honestly, mission accomplished. I do remember finding the MJ sections in the first game a little bit long and arduous, especially if you were caught right before making it to the next event trigger or cutscene. And the pacing of them was definitely quite a bit off. So Insomniac set about making her more capable, more fun to play, and yes, a little OP. According to Intiha, Insomniac wanted MJ to feel like a capable hero, not quite the superpowered Spidey level of hero, but more of your everyday hero you see in action movies all the damn time. And that need to show her as a capable hero was also part of the reason that MJ got her incredibly powerful stun gun. It's a weapon that was actually originally built into Spider-Man 1 super early in development in the form of one of Peter's web shooters before it was ultimately cut from the final game, which just goes to show Insomniac were always on the right track with MJ even if the first game didn't quite get it right. And even if you're so pedantic as to question MJ's ascension to a John Wick style stun gun wielding machine in Spider-Man 2 for story reasons, then Insomniac have you covered there as well. When you reach a certain point in the game, MJ will mention that she took up Sable training. That's Silver Sable, for the uninitiated, the antagonist turned ally from Insomniac's first Spider-Man, who unceremoniously kicked Peter Parker to the curb a few times. So training under her would definitely help give you the edge in dangerous situations. And look, if you're not a fan of stealth missions in your superhero games, then I'll say fair enough. In truth, MJ's sections are a great palate cleanser between the more haphazard, flying by the seat of your pants web-swinging adventures of Miles and Peter in Spider-Man 2. They shake up the gameplay and give you a few new challenges to tackle before diving straight back into the action. And look, they're not perfect, but Insomniac took a risk by sticking to their vision for MJ, and thankfully, it's a risk that spectacularly paid off. Thanks for watching, and if you're looking for more Spider-Man 2 videos like this, check out these videos here.